Okay, this is good. So it feels a bit odd not seeing everybody, but let's get started. Um, the new version, TeX Live 2021, I'm using as an occasion to pick up something I've wanted to do for a long time, which is see what can be done to deal with the ever-growing needs to put things into TeX Live and to, you see, I remember when it all fitted on one CD. We didn't have DVDs and it all fitted onto one CD. Now it is getting so enormous. So what I've got here, what you're seeing is a little workspace I've set up. If I show you my data folder, you see that I've got the TeX collection for the last 10 years, in fact, for the last 11 years. And if I go into one of these, such as this one, we see what we got. Now, there's a very useful command if you're managing large numbers of files, which is disk usage. And I'm going to look at the items inside the TeX collection 2020. This might take a few moments. Oops, sorry, wrong command. I need an S in there as well. Okay, so this is the top level usage of the TeX collection. And you see that everything's pretty small except for CTAN, MagTeX, ProText, and TeX Live. And roughly speaking, these are sizes in gigabytes if you truncate the trailing digits. So TeX Live is about 4 gigabytes. And ProText is about 1 gigabyte, and MagTeX is about half a gigabyte. To give a sense of history, we'll do the same thing for 2010. This might take a few minutes. Oh no, we're up. So there, TeX Live was occupying 2 gigabytes. CTAN was occupying 4.5 gigabytes, and ProText, which is a wrapper, roughly speaking, about MagTeX, is occupying about 1 gigabyte. Now, I wrote some scripts today. I wish I'd written more, but okay, I think you can get the idea. That's the script. It's not a big thing. What it does is it finds the largest 50 files or folders in a specific directory, and it records it. So in TeX Live, the big files, most of the content is in archive. For CTAN, most of the content is at the top level. And with ProText, most of it is in the packages. So when I run the script, I store information about what we've got. So if we look at my stats folder, you see that I've got quite a few stats there. And I'm going to look, just to get going. Come on. Oh, sorry. Let's make this all a bit bigger. Yeah. Okay. So these are the biggest things in this folder. The top one is the context documentation. The next one is something called TeX Live Cockpit, which is a GUI front end to TeX Live Manager. The third one, I had to look this up. It's not GoTo, it's Noto. It's a collection of fonts. Then we have another collection of fonts. Then we have CM Super, which is another collection of fonts. Then we have PST Doc, and I don't know what that is. Next, we have a French document, Before You Program in TeX. Then you have the Bieber binary. Then you have Namu Type 1, which presumably is a font. And I guess Arctic is a font, and Harodniji is a font, and so on. So all this goes down, and we see that we've got binaries, we've got docs, we've got fonts. We can move down a bit. I haven't looked at these items before, but this tells us what the big items are. If I go to the end, we see that at the end, we've got some stuff, I think largely fonts and so forth. They're at about 11,000, whatever the units are. I think that might be 11 megabytes, I'm just guessing. And, oh, come on, this isn't, sorry. And at the top, we've got things that are about 8 or 9 times bigger. So that by itself is one piece of information. And we've got this information for all the 10 or 11 distributions we've got. There's also something called repeated files, and we'll let you have a look at that. Sorry. This is a very big folder. I've got 11 TeX collections that I'm looking at, and each TeX collection has a line more or less like the lines you see here in a folder, in a file called files.dvd, except it doesn't have the number 7 or 6 or 11 at the beginning. So let me tell you how to read this. The first number is how many of the collections the thing appears in. The second thing is the date of the file. The third thing is the size of the file. I think that's in bytes, I'm not sure. And finally, we have the name and location of the file. So at the top, we've got a file from 1979. They're actually in date order. We can change the order if we want to, but they're actually in date order. So we see that we've got a file from 1985, a file from 1986, several files from 1986. And this allows us, this allows us to figure out which files are appearing in every distribution. And I'm not going to go through this list, but it's quite instructive. So let's quit that.